Welcome to my channel. Today we will look at Thomas Hardy's tragic novel Tess of the D'Urbervilles. We'll consider some of its most important themes, including fate and tragedy, morality and hypocrisy, nature and innocence, and class and injustice. Tess of the D'Urbervilles is set in the English countryside and follows the story of Tess d'Urbervilles, a poor country girl who is sent by her parents to claim kinship with the wealthy D'Urberville family. When Tess arrives at the D'Urberville home, she meets Alec d'Urberville, who seduces her. Knowing that she is innocent and naive, after becoming pregnant, Tess returns home, ashamed and alone. She gives birth to a stillborn baby and suffers greatly, both physically and emotionally. Soon after, Tess's family accepts an invitation from the D'Urbervilles to move onto their land as servants. This decision is motivated by money, as they believe it will be easier to support Tess there than in their small cottage. And they also hope that if she looks after Alec's sister, JJ, that someone will eventually marry her. Unfortunately, Alec takes advantage of this close living arrangement and continues to pursue Tess, which drives her to desperate measures. One day, Tess drowns her baby brother in a nearby river, hoping that Alec will see how cruel he's being and stop pursuing her. But instead, he blames her for the death and threatens to tell her parents, terrified that her family will be disgraced. Tess runs away and becomes a dairymaid on a farm owned by Angel Clare and his family. It's here that Tess finally finds happiness, falling in love with Angel and enjoying her work. However, this happiness doesn't last long as Angel and Tess decide to get married. And before the wedding, she tells him about her past with Alec. Obviously shocked, Angel rejects Tess and says that he can never marry her now. Despite this, Tess goes through with the ceremony and moves in with Angel, who is clearly disgusted by her. He treats her without kindness or respect, and they soon separate. With no one else to turn to, Tess is forced back to Alec, who now proposes marriage. However, she refuses and becomes his servant instead. As time passes, Alec grows increasingly controlling and violent towards Tess, but she manages to escape and return to the farm where she worked before. Unfortunately, it's too late for a reconciliation with Angel, who has moved on and married someone else. Now, penniless, Tess is forced to go back to Alec, who continues to manipulate and abuse her until one day she takes her revenge. While walking along a path near Stonehenge, Tess and Alec are caught in a sudden rainstorm, during which Alec makes unwanted advances towards Tess. Enraged, she strikes him with a heavy stone, killing him. Tess then flees to Angel, confessing everything to him and begging for forgiveness. However, he refuses to help her and tells her that he believes her to be guilty. Tess spends her final days wandering the countryside before turning herself into the police. Eventually, she is sentenced to death and executed in front of a crowd of onlookers. Before her death, Tess asks Angel to take care of her little sister, Lizolu, which he promises to do. The novel ends with Angel returning home, alone, except for little Lizolu. Now let's look at some of the novel's key themes. Fate and tragedy seem to be inescapable aspects of Tessie's life. From the moment she learns she might be related to the D'Urbervilles, her fate is sealed. Despite her innocence and purity, Tess is repeatedly victimized by circumstances beyond her control. When Alec seduces her, he knows she is pure and takes advantage of this fact. Furthermore, Tess's decision to become a servant in the de Bourville household is motivated by her desire to escape Alec's advances, but this only makes things worse. Throughout the novel, Tess is tormented by a sense of foreboding, which foreshadows the tragedy that ultimately befalls her. Another major theme in the novel is morality and hypocrisy. Victorian England was a time when women were often judged harshly for sexual immorality. Tess's situation is particularly tragic because she is punished for the sins of others. Alec is able to continue his life without consequence, while Tess is shamed and ostracized. Even Angel, who is not without his own moral failings, is able to find happiness after rejecting Tess, while she is doomed to a life of poverty and servitude. The novel seems to suggest that women are held to a different standard than men, and that society is quick to forgive male sinners while condemning female ones. Nature and innocence are also important themes in the novel. Tess's purity is symbolized by her connection to the natural world around her, such as the wildflowers she gathers and the cows she tends to on the dairy farm. In contrast, Alec represents the corrupting influence of civilization, and his pursuit of Tess symbolizes the dangers of urban life. Tess's happiest moments occur when she is in nature, such as when she is gathering flowers or working with the cows. These scenes highlight the importance of nature in maintaining her innocence and purity. Class and injustice are another significant aspect of the novel. Tess's poverty and low social status make her vulnerable to the manipulations of those in higher classes, such as Alec and the novel suggests that poverty and lack of education contribute to Tess's downfall, as she is easily taken advantage of by those who are more cunning than her. Additionally, the novel explores the rigid social hierarchy of Victorian England and the limited opportunities available to women like Tess. One of the most famous lines in the novel is Hardy's subtitle for the novel, "A Pure Woman Faithfully Presented." This highlights the novel's exploration of Tess's essential goodness and the injustice of the way she is treated by society. Despite being judged and condemned by those around her, Tess remains pure in her heart and mind throughout the story. In conclusion, Tess of the D'Urbervilles is a powerful and moving story that explores themes of fate and tragedy, morality and hypocrisy, nature and innocence, and class and injustice. The novel is a tragic tale of a pure and innocent woman who is destroyed by the forces of society and the men who take advantage of her. Through Tess's story, Hardy offers a critique of Victorian England's rigid social hierarchy and double standards. When it comes to gender roles and sexuality, the novel's enduring popularity is a testament to the timelessness of its themes and the power of Hardy's writing. What do you think? Does Tess get the justice she deserves? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're interested in watching more videos on classic literature, stay tuned for more content. Thank you. Do